films and movies, TV shows, etc. How concerned are you about this 100% tariff potential that Trump's talking about now?
Well, Nick, good morning. I think we should all be very concerned about it because it's 40,000 jobs, literally. I mean, if you think of all the people who are involved in making sets and costumes and providing food, and of course the technical people and people in front of the cameras, it's a big deal here, a very big deal for us. On the other hand, it's typical of the way Mr. Trump operates that he's put this out, I'm sure not by accident, the day before the Prime Minister is going to visit the White House, and it's totally unknown as to how you would implement this, what it would apply to. It's very much like the auto industry. Films are produced in many different places. They're shot in different places. Post-production work happens in different places. And so I don't think any of that has been thought through, but it should be a source of very, very genuine concern because a lot of jobs depend on it, not just in Toronto, but in other parts of Canada as well.
Yeah, we know how integrated our film industries are. I mean, a lot of U.S. productions choose to film in Toronto because it's cheaper. We also think this might really inhibit Canadian content creators on breaking into the U.S. market. But also, I mean, if you were to look at a positive side to this, it would really focus on shoring up our domestic production of Canadian films, Canadian content. Do you see a silver lining in any of this? Do you think that our film industry is ready to kind of take that Canada First approach when it comes to film and TV?
Well, our film industry is fabulous, but it was the foundation on which the, I'll call it the more international film and production industry was based in Toronto. So what would happen if you lost a big part of the I'll call it the Hollywood part, is that you'd have a much smaller industry. We have great crews here, fantastic people. That's our biggest advantage. The money is very important, but we have fantastic crews here. And if all of a sudden they're, utilized half the time, that's going to have a negative impact on the industry as a whole and on the city as a whole. I think people have no idea. Much as they get aggravated by some of those trucks that park around the city making movies, they have no idea, and TV shows, they have no idea how many jobs in many different areas depend on this. So I don't think there really is a silver lining. Our domestic industry will carry on as it did before we started making a lot of American movies here, but they rely on both now to sustain those 40,000 jobs.
Yeah, we also know how Toronto sort of features as kind of New York or Chicago, depending on the sort of show or movie in some cases. John, but also, just this idea, Mark Carney, the Prime Minister, is going to meet with President Trump tomorrow. 51st state, the tariffs are going to be on the agenda. Annexation. Do you think he can jam this, Hollywood 100% tariff onto the agenda as well? And how important is it that that does get discussed tomorrow?
Well, he's done it. I mean, he's jammed it on there by making his social media post he could have made last week or the week before. And he's done it the day before the Prime Minister's coming in, so it's on the agenda. I think it's very important, and hopefully what the Prime Minister can do, and it's a tough menu that he's got in front of him, is to convince Mr. Trump that to just sort of willy-nilly do these things in the middle of the night when none of the details are sorted out, none of the impact. I mean, let's remember as well, a lot of people who watch and make successful American movies are in Canada and other countries, because it's not just Canada this tariff applies to. So you have to hope that some sanity will prevail and that Mr. Carney is able, and I'm not trying to create too many expectations for him in one meeting, to pause a lot of this and say, look, does this all make sense? Because we've said before, as you know, as Canadians, this is going to hurt you as much as it's going to hurt us. And even just looking at the box office, and saying, well, if people started not attending and not watching American movies, streaming services, I mean, are they caught by this? So there's a lot of unanswered questions, as usual, with a lot of these kind of midnight pronouncements that are made by President Trump.
Yeah, for sure. We know that there's so many co-productions between Canada and the U.S. and, of course, what's going to happen with our big Toronto International Film Festival as well. So lots on the line there. Okay, former Toronto Mayor John Tory, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Always good to see you.
Thank you.
Nice to talk to you both. Thank you.
Okay, well, Leafs fans, including John